enamoraron. Dijeron igualdad, pero esta vez me separaron. Dijeron mucho, pero no se olvidaron de callarse. Cuánto odio por mi piel sembraron. Dijeron historia y la tergiversaron. Dijeron guerra, muerte, odio y nos culparon. Enfermedades, epidemias nos contagiaron. Exterminación de mi fauna complace a tus mercados. Dijeron riqueza y todo se lo robaron. Oro, platino, diamante, a la fuerza se lo llevaron. Y la actualidad es tan triste que todo aquello que dijeron es lo mismo que hoy se dice más. ¿Quién dice, quién explota, quién se beneficia? El asesino, el mismo que da las noticias. Hay una cuenta fácil que siempre me da las grandes riquezas, de dónde vienen y hacia dónde van.
Independiente como los Mao Mao, concluyente como los Mao Mao,
como los Mao Mao,
como los Mao Mao. Somos resistentes como los Mao Mao, independiente como los Mao Mao, concluyente como los Mao Mao,
como los Mao Mao,
como los Mao Mao. Somos resistentes como los Mao Mao. Nati Dre es afroresistencia, cultura ancestral, afrodescendencia, solidaridad. Esa es la esencia, la diáspora africana eleva la conciencia, conciencia negra, universal, progresista y transcultural. Negros y mestizos revolucionando, pueblos caribeños y africanos en un solo bando. No más explotación, colonialismo interno, no más confusión, supremacía blanca en el Babilón. Soy rojo, negro y verde, afroliberación. Mientras más negro, más represión. Somos creadores, recupera tu visión. Mi misión es educar con amor, contra el silencio, vivo sin temor. Independiente como los Mao Mao, concluyente como los Mao Mao,
como los Mao Mao,
como los Mao Mao. Somos resistentes como los Mao Mao, independiente como los Mao Mao, concluyente como los Mao Mao,
como los Mao Mao,
como los Mao Mao. Somos resistentes como los Mao Mao.
Peace, 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 peace. Welcome to the Rise Up International Morning Show. Coming to you live from France today. Buddha, what's good? How you doing, brother?
It's all good, man.
Yeah?
I was stuck in the train for 1 hour, but still good.
What happened?
Probably the show is going to be shorter than usual.
Yeah, today we might have
These are things that happen.
A shorter show. Yeah, these are things that happen, to everyday people. Little bit of trouble in transportation.
Apparently, there were, 2 people fighting the train, 2 or more people.
Okay. That's what they said, huh?
One of them was, they thought his name is Fernando, but I don't know if it's different. But anyway, he was stuck there.
I don't fight in public transportation, man. Come on.
Hey, who's that on your t-shirt? Is it Paul Robeson?
Nah, it's the Honorable Marcus Mosiah Garvey, man.
Oh, okay.
Garvey.
I didn't see
Garvey. But yeah, man, shout out to everybody out there checking us out. It's the Rise Up Morning Show. Shout out to all of our co-hosts that aren't here today. Big up. I think we got the comrade Isaac on the 1s and 2s in the back. Shout out to him. Shout out to everybody else.
Who's making this possible because,
no doubt.
Cannot rely on you to record. So,
so it's my fault. It's my fault.
Don't be there, man. Come on.
Okay.
People don't see all the, the technical stuff that he's doing. But
my bad. Yeah. All right, we're gonna get into a couple articles that we have, a little bit of news. I do want to encourage everybody to check out what's going on our platform. Arm the Masses, RSTV, decolonizing feminism, Vital Hoops, all of that. As a matter of fact, on Vital Hoops, I had the brother Shakara yesterday, and we spoke about race first. He kind of broke that down real interesting. And he brought it to today's terms, the importance of it today. You know what I mean? Because we can't stay stuck in the past. So yeah, let's get into a couple things, Boona. Right now I did want to speak a little bit about the Amazon, man. The Amazon, that's the planet's lungs. You know what I mean? And when we talk about the ecocide that's going on, we have to speak about these things because they're extremely important. When we talk about revolution, we can't forget the planet. We can't forget Mother Earth, right? The Amazon is burning again. Immediate global action needed to contain Amazon fires, emergency in collaboration with indigenous and traditional communities. Okay, so I want to read a little bit of this article. This is on AmazonWatch.org. This article is from September 17th, right? So, the fires raging across the Amazon rainforest are devastating biodiversity, killing millions of animals, indigenous people, territories, and further threatening global climate stability. This is escalating environmental, humanitarian, and climate emergency that requires urgent intervention by the Amazonian governments and the international community. In 3 Brazilian Amazon states alone, fires have already consumed 5.4 million hectares. That's 54,000 square kilometers. So that's serious. While in Peru, fires have reached unprecedented levels with over 1,800 forest fire alerts recorded. Bolivia has suffered over 17,700 fire points this year, the most ever seen in the first half of any year. In July, there were 11,500 fires recorded in the Brazilian Amazon, followed by 38,000 in August, the highest numbers in 20 years. Last month, the worst impacted region of the Brazilian Amazon became the largest emitter of CO2 in the world, exacerbating the global climate crisis that is driving historic droughts across the region in a vicious feedback cycle. So, I'm going to leave it there. But I want to mention that, this is serious. I actually have my cousin, one of my cousins lives in Brazil now, right? She's from Cuba as well, but she's living in Brazil now. And, the other day she's in Rio, but she was going to another city for work. She's a writer. She's an author. Excuse me. She's an author. So she was going to present one of her books in another city. And when they were on the way, it was almost like impossible to breathe. It was crazy, she said. And they had to, when she got to the spot, she was coughing. She couldn't stop coughing, she said. And the locals told her, like, yeah, it's normal. You might cough up a little bit of blood here and there, but so this is something that's happening that's affecting everyday people for real. It's serious, and the forest burning in the Amazon, it's affecting the entire world. Not only the people right now in Brazil, but some of us, we don't feel it. But like I said, they call the Amazon the lungs of the planet. It's not for nothing. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So I feel like I know one of the main reasons, for these fires in the Amazon, one of the main reasons is, beef export. There's beef export out of Brazil, right? And that's exports of beef and veal from Brazil. The main destinations are the United States, China, and Europe, and the European Union. So once again, it's the imperialist powers creating the eco side, as we know. So, but yeah, the burning of the Amazon is definitely driving climate change. And climate change is one of our main issues right now, as I mentioned, because us people who are struggling, to end imperialism, what planet are we going to inherit? You know what I'm saying? If we don't have earth, if we don't have clean earth, if we don't have clean soil, if we don't have clean water, you know what I'm saying? So we have to struggle for this now. We have to be on this. This is extremely important. We can't put that to the side, because these motherfuckers will end will end nature, man, or will end us before. But this is a serious matter. So I just wanted to speak a little bit about that. Yeah. What do you think about that, Buna?
Yeah, I have to be self-critical here because for years this is something that I've not been paying a lot of attention to. But and I have to have to give credit where credit is due. I think you're the one who sensitized me on the importance of not only of what we eat in terms of food, how we grow it, where it comes from, and how we use it, but also the larger impact of our actions on the biodiversity and threat to the planet. I think this should be a wake-up call for all of us, basically, and we should definitely give more space to these debates in our Pan-African, struggle, because I think this is an issue that is not given the attention that it deserves, the importance that it deserves in our so-called Pan-African circles. So I think this has to be a mainstream, major issue in our commitment, because like you said, man, if we don't have any planet, we wouldn't be talking about anything.
That's right. That's right.
Wouldn't be even breathing. So
no doubt,
once
man.
again, it's reflects the racist division of labor, right, internationally, because it's the lens of the indigenous people in Americas, South America, North America, Central America. That's why I said in the Americas.
Yeah.
Those are the people who are suffering the brunt of all these exploitation, and the profit are not going to them. And if you take the example of even on the continent, you might talk about the East African crude oil pipeline, which is the longest pipeline planet Earth. There's going to be ground pipeline planet that is currently being built between Tanzania and Uganda, which is basically going to become an ecological bomb. Okay, and for this project, they have already expelled hundreds of thousands of Africans from their lands. Right, it's a project that is implemented by Total, which is a major petroleum company.
Absolutely.
In collaboration with the Chinese.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So when we talk about this multipolar world, we should not. I know this has been debate between us, how we prioritize in terms of fighting imperialism. But
healthy debate. It's a healthy debate.
Yeah, it's a very important debate. Yeah. We don't have to agree on everything, anyways. But I think it's just that you guys have been, cautioning us about the so-called forces of the multipolar world being engaged in imperialism and colonialism in Africa. And here we see an example of a Chinese multinational oil company being in cahoots together with a French multinational oil company, one of the most important companies in France, by the way, if not the most important, in the project of exploitation and degradation of African lands, basically. So we see the similarities between what's happening in Africa and what's happening in South America, in the case of the Amazon. And this should really be a wake-up call. And like I said, I think we shouldn't wait till we are personally affected.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
To act upon that, right?
Because, no, that's right.
Unfortunately, people have to see from their own eyes.
Yeah.
From their own lungs.
Right? Unfortunately, yeah, that's what happens a lot. But I think one of the reasons why that happens also is because through Western culture, we have been disconnected to nature so much.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? Like our indigenous culture, our African cultures, our ancestors were really connected to nature. We understood that what we ate came from the earth. We understood that we needed to respect every single animal, every single plant, because we were truly part of nature. you know. And nowadays it's like we have this disconnect, you know what I'm saying, where we feel we're superior, you know what I'm saying. And so that's what's fucking us up as far as that. I want to read something here. For indigenous people, we have a relationship that Western cultures cannot understand with animals, as they are our direct relatives. And we continue to understand that some of them are placed on earth for us to consume and only take what we need without overkilling or overhurting them. During colonization, many of our animal species went through these boom bust cycles because they were being overhunted and harvested, by settlers. This is the main reason why we witness huge decline of our traditional foods, in particular our animal species. We're still living in a time where we are trying to increase these species through Western conservation and its practices, but the continued impact from climate change makes it hard. This is the main reason why we, as indigenous peoples, know that Western cultures do not understand what it means to live in harmony with our plants and animal species. As natural capital continues to value animals and plants for their economic value and not for them. 100%. 100%. See, that's kind of what I was referring to right there. You know, we think we're, I mean, I don't want to say we, but, you know, people think they're superior, you know what I'm saying? And so this is a huge problem that we have, you know, and, you know, like you said, you know, I've spoken a lot about this. Let me see who wrote that. Oh, I'm sorry. That was Dr. Jessica Hernandez that wrote this. What I just read. I'm sorry about that. But definitely we have to get to that as Pan-Africanists, you know, as revolutionaries. We definitely have to place main focus on this, because it is a global issue, and it affects our people first and foremost, you know, and it affects everybody. So definitely. But yeah, we got a couple more things. I'd love to know what y'all think in the chat. Let us know. Leave us comments. You know what I mean? We're going to go to a quick Black Power break, and we're going to be right back. Rise up.
You don't scare Negroes today with no badge or no white skin or no white sheet or no white anything else. The police the same way. They put their club upside your head and then turn around and accuse you of attacking them. Every case of police brutality against a Negro follows the same pattern. They attack you, bust you all upside your mouth, and then take you to court and charge you with assault. What kind of democracy is that? What kind of freedom is that? What kind of social or political system is it when a black man has no voice in court, has nothing on his side other than what the white man chooses to give him? My brothers and sisters, we have to put a stop to this, and it will never be stopped until we stop it ourselves. They attack the victim, and then the criminal who attacked the victim accuses the victim of attacking him. This is American justice. This is American democracy. And those of you who are familiar with it know that in America, democracy is hypocrisy. Now, if I'm wrong, put me in jail. But if you can't prove that a democracy is not hypocrisy, then don't put your hands on me. Democracy is hypocrisy. If democracy means freedom, why aren't our people free? If democracy means justice, why don't we have justice? If democracy means equality, why don't we have equality? Who are you? You don't know. Don't tell me Negro, that's nothing. What were you before the white man named you a Negro? And where were you? And what did you have? What was yours? What language did you speak then? What was your name? It couldn't have been Smith or Jones or Bunch or Powell. That wasn't your name. They don't have those kind of names where you and I came from. No, what was your name? And why don't you now know what your name was then? Where did it go? Where did you lose it? Who took it? And how did he take it? What tongue did you speak? How did the man take your tongue? Where is your history? How did the man wipe out your history? What did the man do to make you as dumb as you are right now? 20 million black people in this country have been like boys in the white man's house. He even calls us boys. Don't care how big you get, he calls you boy. You can be a professor. To him, you're just another boy. I heard him calling Ralph Bunch. Why, he's a good old boy. And if we can't do it, we should hush our mouth. If you can't do for yourself what the white man is doing for himself, don't say you're equal with the white man. If you can't set up a factory like he sets up a factory, don't talk that old equality talk. Get off the welfare. Get out of that compensation line. Be a man. Earn what you need for your own family. Then your family respects you. They are proud to say, that's my father. She's proud to say, that's my husband. Father means you're taking care of those children. Just because you made them, that don't mean you're a father. Anybody can make a baby, but anybody can't take care of them. Anybody can go and get a woman, but anybody can't take care of a woman. Yes, we hate laziness. We hate drunkenness. We hate dope addiction. We hate nicotine. We hate all of the vices that the white man has taught us to partake in. And he accuses us of hating him. Why? Because the white man knows you're more dangerous sober than you are drunk. Yes. You are more dangerous sober than you are drunk. He's not worrying about no dancing, singing, clowning Negro. He's worried about you when you stop dancing, when you stop singing, when you stop clowning and start thinking. Then he gets worried. And you should keep him worried. And now you know you need someone to teach you to respect your woman. You say, well, what about the white woman? No, you've been respecting her. Every time you see a Negro man, he got his hat off, showing his teeth to some pale-skinned white woman. And the mistake that you and I have made is leaving our women unprotected. Anybody can get to her. Anybody can abuse her. Any old white man can come and pat a black woman. Can he not? And we are teaching the white man keep his hands and his eyes off our women. What makes the so-called Negro unable to stand on his own 2 feet? He has no self-confidence. He has no proud confidence in his own race, because the white man destroyed your and my past, destroyed our knowledge of our culture. And by having destroyed it, now we don't know we have any achievements, any accomplishments. And as long as you can be convinced that you never did anything, you can never do anything. This is why the white man, his little children, he tells them about George Washington, Abraham Lincoln, all these white heroes. But we are never taught about any black hero. Only someone we're shown in history is my grandfather was picking cotton. Cotton picking don't move me. No. But when it comes to teaching the black people something about great black men who stood their ground, who were scientists, who were civilizers, who were fathers of culture and civilization, the white man has shrewdly written that role out of the textbook. And today, the effect that it has on you and me, we don't think we can stand on our own 2 feet. We wake up we clean up and we stand up. And once we can stand up like a man on our own feet, we stop begging the white man. And we stop apologizing to the white man. We stop compromising with the white man. Then the world will look at us with recognition and respect. But as long as you run around here wearing the white man's name, bragging about you one of the Jones, or one of the Browns, or one of the Smiths, or as long as you run around here bragging about your part in this so-called American democracy, then you will always be looked down upon as a chump by the white man. You never will be given recognition nor respect. Your problem will continue to go unsolved, and we'll still be in the same rut or ditch 1,000 years from now that we're in.
Peace, peace, peace. Welcome back to the Rise Up International Morning Show. That was one of the greatest freedom fighters to ever step on this planet, great Malcolm X. Real quick, I want to reference what I read something a little bit earlier, and I forgot to mention the article. It was from Fresh Banana Leaves, a climate change indigenous activist and scientist, and a book on. I'm sorry. Hey man. Okay. Anyway, sorry. A book on climate change. All right. So that was that. What's up, Boone? Are you all right, man? You up?
Yeah.
All right.
What do you think?
Let's get to this next story, man.
Yeah, so it started that it's kind of connected to the one that we read previously, but it's in Africa. So it's about the East African crude oil pipeline, which, like I said, as you can see on the screen, is a project that is being implemented by two multinational oil companies. So Total, French oil company, and the majority state-owned, okay, China National Offshore Oil Corporation. So they're on the cusp of building the world's longest heated oil pipeline right through the heat of Africa. Okay, so like I said, it's in crossing part of Tanzania and Uganda. So it stretches for nearly 1,445 kilometers. The East African crude oil pipeline would have disastrous consequences for local communities, for wildlife, and for the entire planet. That's why, as the title of the article suggested, so we're on the website of stopecop.net. Okay, so here it's a text on why we should stop EACOP. So the project threatens to displace thousands of families and farmers from their land. It poses significant risks to water resources and wetlands in both Uganda and Tanzania, including the Lake Victoria Basin, which over 40 million people rely upon for drinking water and food production. So we're talking about a project that probably most people have not heard of. I don't know if some of our viewers have heard of this project before. They probably mentioned it in the chat. So this is a project that is having potential devastating impact on the on the lives of over 40 million people. Yeah. Okay, and this is something that you seldom hear of in the media. Okay,
that's right.
And we might sound conspirationist or conspirational or conspirationist if we say that this is also because those who have vested interest in this project also control some of the media that we're following. But anyways, It's also another signal that the system is sending us, imperialist colonial system sending us, saying that we have this project that's going to impact over 40 million people potentially, which is more than the population of Senegal, Mali, Niger, and Burkina Faso taken together, right? but there's seldom reference to that. I haven't heard or seen many people referring to this project, which is life threatening for
Absolutely.
millions of our brothers and sisters, not millions, tens of millions
Yeah.
of our brothers and sisters in Mother Africa. So I'm going to read a few more
And
paragraphs.
that's real quick, and that's
Yeah,
directly
go
that's
ahead.
directly to those people, but it's threatening really to the entire planet.
Oh
You know what
yeah,
I'm saying?
I was
So
about to come to that. That
yeah,
was my
absolutely.
following point. Yeah, you're
Absolutely.
absolutely right, and it goes back to the the Amazon fires that we've
Mm,
mentioned previously. Is not only impacting South America or the communities in Brazil, Peru, but the whole planet,
absolutely.
because
Yeah.
they are the lungs of the planet. So yeah, so the pipeline, and I'm still reading another paragraph. Um, the pipeline would whip through numerous sensitive biodiversity hotspots and risk significantly degrading several nature reserves crucial to the preservation of threatened elephant, lion, and chimpanzee species.
Mm,
So, what our viewers need to be aware of is that the project is crossing, okay, the pipeline will go through some protected natural preservation, right? It's protected areas, but the project is still crossing, you know, those areas.
mm,
Um, and then to conclude, EACOP stands for East African Crude Oil Pipeline, will increase the severity of the global climate emergency by transporting oil that will generate other. And here I want people to listen what I'm going to read. EACOP will increase the severity of the global climate emergency by transporting oil that will generate over 34 million tons of carbon emissions each year. The pipeline would open up critical ecosystems in the landlocked regions of Central and Eastern Africa to commercial oil exploitation.
mm,
So, and then they say to conclude, they say, about why we should stop this project. The future hangs in the balance, but as we've seen in so many cases around the world, when we unite to support local communities taking a stand for their rights and better future, we can be a powerful match for any corporate giant. Together, we can stop EACOP, provided that we are sufficiently aware of what is at stake and we have sufficient, people, enough people involved in this project. So we probably have to, reach out to the comrades who made the website. And anyway, some of our comrades are involved in this campaign because, as you know,
mm.
Shovi, which is an
Yeah.
organization that is, for 30 years that has been fighting, we can say preaching in the desert, more or less, in France, because the
Mm,
movement here is so weak. But anyways, they've been trying to fight French neo-colonial empire in Francophone Africa, so-called Francophone Africa, for decades now, for more than 30 years, and they're involved in this, in this call, in this campaign. And actually, if you go, we don't have time today, but if you scroll through the website, you can see the logo, Survey, right? So yeah, yeah, I can see Isaac is looking for the logo now.
yeah. Yeah.
But anyways, shout out to Survey.
Yeah.
Shout out to all the international and local organization that are, involved in this, campaign. And it's crucial for our brothers and sisters in Tanzania and Uganda. They have not been passive. They've been mobilized at grassroots level with the support of people locally and internationally. But unfortunately, when you have those billions of dollars from the French and the state-owned, partly state-owned oil company from China, you know, the odds are against them. But like they say, if we
Absolutely.
come together, no matter the resources that we have, if you come together and if we are, sufficiently aware of the impact that this project might have, I think we'll have no choice but fight back. Despite the fact that Uganda, as you know, is a dictatorship, Museveni has been in power for 35 years or even more, if not, I'm not mistaken. He's a very close friend of Israel, very close friend of, not only friend but ally of Israel, of U.S. imperialism, obviously. And he doesn't care about selling his own people to the interests of foreign,
At
foreign.
all.
And the people living in the colonial, uh, in the so-called, belly of the beast, like we do, because this is a French company, basically.
Yeah.
We have a particular responsibility because we cannot keep enjoying our life here in France, you know, driving our cars with oil coming from this region in the
Absolutely.
future, enjoying the electricity, which, as you know, comes partly from the uranium that has been plundered in Niger.
In Nigeria.
So we cannot say like enjoying our life here, knowing that the comfort that we're enjoying here stems from the exploitation of our own people.
Of our
We have a
people.
specific
Absolutely.
responsibility, and I would even
Even when we
argue that
speak
people
about
are,
technology.
yeah, yeah,
When
and
we
people
speak
of African descent have even a greater responsibility because
Mhm.
our own development, our own economic comfort cannot be at the expense of our brothers and sisters on the continent.
Nah,
So we cannot pretend that we didn't know. Now the information is, all over the place. And
that's right.
I think we've discussed it internally in our organization. This is
Yeah.
something that we really have to raise awareness about because, in my opinion, this project and the impact that will have on not on hundreds, not on thousands, not on hundreds of thousands, not even on millions, but tens of millions of people on the mother continent is not given the attention that it deserves. And
Mhm.
I have to shout out Shovi and their partners in Uganda, Tanzania, and globally because they've actually sued
Yeah, it's soothing.
Total, right?
Yeah.
Because as multinational companies, they have a responsibility to prevent danger. They have to responsibility to prevent ecologic catastrophe.
Yeah,
Okay,
for sure.
but unfortunately, they lost their case, at least the
Mhm.
first round, because the judges they said, okay, Total is not violating its duty of, I don't know how they call it again, duty of obligation of being vigilant. Basically, that's the legal term that they're using for that. I'm just paraphrasing
Straight
it. Just
bullshit.
yes.
Straight bullshit. The
So
duty of being vigilant.
yeah, vigilance duty or something like that.
Yeah.
That's the legal term.
How do they measure that? Shit, go figure.
And the justice system here in France ruled in favor of Total.
Yeah, of course.
So
Total is one of the bloodiest corporations on earth, man.
man, how many coups they've been involved in? How many tens of
God
thousands
damn.
of Africans have been killed in civil wars that were partly funded by Total? If you take Angola, if you take
Mm-hmm.
Congo,
Mm-hmm.
both Congos, by the way, Democratic Republic and Congo Brazzaville,
Brother.
uh, they've been involved. I mean, it's Total money. It used to be, and the way the one of the reasons why it's called Total now is because the previous name, the previous company has been so tarnished by the
Mhm.
scandals that they had to do some whitewashing, right? And you know what's funny? Total has even changed its logo. Now it has a green part, okay, and the green
Yeah.
part is supposed to suggest that
Greenwashing. Greenwashing.
yeah, it has
Yeah.
even the colors. The colors now
Yeah,
one of
absolutely.
the most visible colors on the logo of Total is it's now it's called Total Energy, right?
Mm.
It's
Yeah.
called, I don't know if you can find the logo. I will try to
And
look for it on the internet.
and they
But
speak about how they're trying to use new ways, for cleaner energy and everything.
yeah,
You know how it is
and
greenwashing.
the
Yeah.
French government is investing tens of millions of euros
Hmm.
in to promote or to foster ecological transition, as they say.
That's
But
right.
at
Yeah.
the same
Yeah.
time,
Yeah.
they've been involved because people also have to know that the French government is totally involved in this project. It's not only a
Yeah.
private project.
100%. No.
Totally involved because some of the you know uh, people who are now working, the top leaders of Total, okay, they used to work for the French government. Okay, you probably know that purpose is
The
called
lead. Yeah.
pantouflage. Okay, in French, is basically meaning changing your shoes but being in the same position, right? So you have very people who had very top positions in the French government who've joined this company and who've been using the network they had in French government in order to advance this project. And the French government itself, through its embassies in Tanzania and Uganda, has been promoting those projects as well. So, for example, there have been events in Uganda, Tanzania, that have been funded by Total, for example, right?
That's right.
And because the French government wants this so badly, this project to be implemented, they've increased their so-called aid to Tanzania by 400%, from tens of millions to billions. Okay, because this is a way of saying this is the investment that we're making, so we're going to help you, to aid you in some sectors, but in return, you have to allow this project to be carried out. So,
Yeah, absolutely, man. Listen, this all shows this whole, it's all greenwashing and the whole thing that's going on as far as that. It just shows how much, our enemy has no conscience. Our enemy has zero conscience, no humanity inside of them. There's no humanity inside of someone who's willing to destroy every living organism out there for their own wealth, for their own personal wealth. They don't even have respect for their own seeds coming down the line. Like, you know what I'm saying? They're not even thinking about their grandchildren. They don't even give a fuck about that. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's like they think, or they think they're gonna be so rich that they're gonna be able to survive in a little bubble, just them. You know what I'm saying? And they don't care about the rest of the masses, right? But it just shows how inhumane these motherfuckers are, man. It's crazy. It's crazy. But that's where we at. That's where we at, man. I'm glad you broke that one down, Buna. That's an important story because, like you said, mainstream media is not covering these things. Same with the Amazon burning. They'll cover it once in a while. They covered it like a couple years ago, and now they're just kind of not really talking about it anymore. Because like you said, mainstream media is always protecting these big corporations because they're the same owners.
Criminal corporation, yeah, exactly, same owners.
Same owners. We know where the money's at, where the money's going.
And these issues are very sensitive because such an important project, you have to be aware that the French secret services are thoroughly involved as well. And Total has its own intelligence services that are connected to to the intelligence services of the French government. Because, like I said, it used to be public company, so has so many people going back and forth from the government to that company and vice versa. And actually, their retaliation or their counterattack has been so effective that they've managed to, and this is an example I'm giving you, one journalist who used to cover that topic and also the grassroots movement that were fighting that project, he was actually recruited by Total. There were some French journalists who were reaching, they were in contact, and I think he was based in Tanzania.
Yeah.
And so the French journalists say, "Hey, I'm coming to Tanzania next week. Can we catch up?" The guy said, "Sorry, I'm working for Total now. I cannot meet you anymore."
That's crazy. That's crazy, man. But yeah, man, when it comes to these ecological issues, man, some people don't even mention them. And also a lot of the reason why there's so much of this greenwashing thing now is because they've realized that too many people are talking about it. They can't really hide it anymore. There's still some crazy motherfuckers like, some crazy right-wing people that totally deny climate change, this crazy motherfuckers. But for the most part, people can't deny it anymore. So they started the whole greenwashing thing, like, oh, consume more responsibly, right? Consume responsibly and all of this. Whereas, we understand that capitalism is burning this shit up. It's burning up the planet, man. So they're coming up with all these little things.
That's why, in our analysis, we always have to talk about the material basis of our analysis. When you talk about colonialism, capitalism, it might sound abstract for people. But if you say that this is a project that, for which hundreds of thousands of people are being expelled from their lands,
That's right.
and it's going to affect the livelihoods of 40 million people. I mean, even if you don't believe in climate change,
Yeah, exactly. It's
how do
affecting
you
the
know
people directly. Yeah,
that?
no doubt.
You see,
But
doesn't have to be abstract. We don't have to use some of those terms that might sound too academic sometimes.
they're gonna say it's gonna create jobs, man.
Yeah, exactly. That's yeah. I mean, I'm glad that you brought up that because that's the argument of the
Yeah,
government of Uganda and Tanzania.
yeah, for sure. We're gonna create jobs. It's gonna help the economy.
We're
You
gonna
know.
have the economy, and 95% of those profits are going to the coffers of the multinational companies and French
Absolutely. Exactly.
governments.
And maintain the wealth at
Anyway,
the
no,
top. Yeah.
I think some of our leaders should really be held accountable. I will not say in
Yeah.
which way because some people might say that I'm inciting for you know weird things, but these are people who are basically sacrificing millions of their
Nah,
citizens.
that's right. That's right.
I mean, it's crazy. It
It
means that
is.
it's just about them, their family, being able to send their children to U.S., European universities, or getting treatment in those hospitals when they're sick.
Hmm.
But at the end of the day, they don't care about what will happen to the peasant, what will happen to the worker, or to people who've been there forever. It's just that
Hmm.
Total want to make this project has to happen. But if it happens, if they start, and Uganda has announced that they will be producing oil, it will be a oil producing country next year.
Hmm.
Okay, whenever you hear Ugandan authorities talk about it, this is the project that they're talking about. This is a project that will destroy the livelihoods of 40 million people. Has the
That's
potential
right.
to destroy 40 million people, and we've have to really gain uh, project that will generate over 34 million tons of carbon emissions each year. Damn, I didn't even know it was that much.
Man, that's crazy. That's wild.
34 million, 34 million tons each year.
Yeah. Not easy. I'm telling you,
That's
these
actually mass
motherfuckers,
assassination. I'm sorry
they're
to put
not.
it that way,
They're
but
inhumane, man. It's inhumane. The whole shit, man.
yeah,
It's
maybe
inhumane. We're
someday we
gonna.
can get some of those people involved in this project. Probably someone who's not based in Uganda or Tanzania because they might get
Yeah.
killed if they speak up.
Yeah, we definitely need to touch on this again, and we haven't even started speaking about the oceans. That's another huge topic because we don't realize the forest is huge, but we also get our oxygen from the ocean. You know what I'm saying? And the ocean right now, as the same way we're losing our animals in the land, we're losing so much in the oceans, with mass fishing also from corporations, with oil spills, with plastic, with everything that's fucking up the ocean and it's fucking up the planet. So yeah, but we're gonna get back to this right here on the Rise Up show. We'll speak about this again. We'll get some guests on because this, like I said, we like you already know we speak about it in our organization as well. But we have to put this definitely at the forefront of the struggle. Um, so yeah, should we get to another story or should we do a break for Black Power? What we got over here?
Yeah, it's up to you. I think we still have 15 minutes.
Yeah, we got a little bit of time. What do you think? What's our folks saying back there? All right. All right, let's get to this story, man. You got another one?
Yeah, quick one.
You got the Sahel states or
Yeah, the Sahel states.
no doubt. Let's get into that.
But that's just the yeah. Maybe we can come back to that
Okay.
another time. It's just like this week was today is 20th, right?
Mhm.
So 3 days ago was the first anniversary of the um, formation of the Alliance of Sahelian States, Mali, Burkina Faso, and Niger. Um, so it's going through some challenges right now because, as you know, there have been heavy massive terrorist attacks in especially Mali and Burkina Faso over the past few weeks.
Yeah.
So the security situation is very, very, unstable. But the alliance was built to deal with that situation. So hopefully it will improve over the years, because one of the things that the imperialists really want is those states to crumble, basically.
Yeah,
Because
absolutely.
it will be another way for them to say, just like they're doing in Haiti. Like Haiti wanted to be independent. Look what happened after independence. Okay, they cannot even manage themselves. So it's also part of the psychological war that they're playing on, saying that since we left, because the French army was expelled from there, from three current countries, by the way, where they had, I think over 3,000 men, okay, present for several years, for over 10 years, and the security situation had not improved, right? So, yeah, those countries decided to change their, geopolitical insecurity alliances. It's not an easy process, but it has been a popular process. I mean, all those so-called coups have been, backed by the peoples of those countries in Mali, Burkina Faso, and Niger. So, a popular movement that brought those regime to power. At least they enjoy popular support.
Yeah.
So I am just going to quote very quickly Assimi Goita, who is the president of the of Mali. So Altimi Goita says our armed forces have faced great challenges in the face of support from third countries such as the West, which support terrorism in the Sahel region. Goita added member countries will broaden cooperation to include development and diplomacy, not to mention the expected creation of an investment bank. So there are economic projects behind this. So on the military front, the AES, which is the Alliance of Sahelian States, the French acronym, has created a unified military force. This force has already achieved major successes on the ground. These include the liberation of the town of Kidal in Mali. So just to give an idea of how important and how big Kidal is, it's 1.5 as big as Senegal. Okay, Kidal is a region that is bigger than Senegal, the country where I am from.
Yeah.
This Senegal is about 200,000 kilometers square. Okay, Kidal is let me check it out. Um, I think it's 250,000. Yeah, 260,000 kilometers square. Okay, so it was a very big achievement from the army of Mali last year. But the challenges are numerous. Security. The terrorist groups have been increasing their attacks, and they will keep doing so because
Yeah.
a lot of actors right there want to show that those countries cannot manage themselves. So yeah,
And they've been making serious moves. They've been making major moves over there. So
yeah,
they're
yeah, yeah.
yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so you have this is something that we have to discuss probably on a separate show. You have
Yeah.
so many military bases, French military bases in the region, in Cote
Mhm.
d'Ivoire, in Senegal. In Senegal, apparently they want to dismantle them. In Ghana,
Yeah.
okay. They used to have the biggest drone base in Africa in Niger, in
Yeah.
Agadez.
No,
But
but I meant, not to cut you off, Buna. I meant the Sahel states have been making good moves too.
oh yeah, yeah,
They're working good. They're doing great with agriculture. You know what I
yeah,
mean? They're making moves as far as agriculture, education. So they're making good moves. So they're definitely gonna be trying to stabilize what's going on
yeah.
over
It's
there.
not
To, like you said, to prove that we can't stand on our own.
yeah, and the Alliance of Sahelian States was formed in a particular context, which was the threat of invasion by
Mhm.
by ECOWAS. But
Yeah.
ECOWAS doesn't have the logistical power for such an invasion.
Mhm.
It
Mhm.
had to be French backed, and
Yeah.
also US, maybe US in the background. But the US didn't expect Niger to ask them to leave. And as we speak, the United States government is still negotiating with the government of Niger to maintain their military presence there.
That's
Okay.
right.
Niger once again has signed a deal with the Chinese for a pipeline that will go through Benin
Mm.
with transport oil with tens of millions of dollars of income for the Niger government. So yeah, they've been changing their alliances, testing different options. The history of the military governments there has not always been glorious, but this
Yeah.
time, they have clearly been not only, the anti-colonial stances has not only been in rhetoric, but also in deeds, and it's also a popular movement. So this is something that we really need to support and
Yeah,
hear the voices
absolutely. Yeah,
from
we need.
Mali, Burkina Faso, and Niger.
Yeah, we definitely need to stay up on this story and on what's going on. As Africans in the diaspora, we absolutely need to stay on it. And support. What's going on over there. Um, I wanted to ask you this. I'm hearing that I don't know if you heard the story about they're moving towards having creating one passport for the Alliance of the Sahel states, right? Because they've already spoke about how now every citizen can really move freely through the three bodies of land, right? And so now there's going to be one passport also. But let me ask you this, Buna: do you see in the obviously that's the goal, right? But do you see in the near future any country, a fourth country, joining them?
Yeah, we'll see. There will be elections in Senegal in November.
Hmm.
Senegal has been a stronghold of French neocolonialism for decades.
Yeah.
But now they have a new president whose party was really committed to ending neocolonialism in Senegal, in Africa
Yeah.
generally.
Absolutely.
There have been a lot of criticisms, against, but I think we need to give them time. I'm not saying this because I'm Senegalese, but
I didn't say anything, man.
no, because micronationalism, as you know, is one of our problems, and I
Yeah.
really,
Yeah. No doubt.
really appreciate the fact that these countries have decided to come together to become a federation, as you
Yeah.
said.
Absolutely.
One passport. This would be a signal to all Pan Africans of the way to follow, right? Because I don't think there has been such a project before. There was a project of union between Ghana and Guinea Conakry back then. We didn't go that
Mhm.
far. But if this is successful, it's going to be a huge achievement for the peoples of those countries because it's a way they were showing us the way to overcome micronationalism because those are colonial, those are neo-colonial entities. They are creations of with all due respect to the leaders of those countries and also the people
Mhm.
who live there, the borders of those countries have been, designed and have been fixed by, um,
Yeah.
colonizers. So basically,
Colonizers. Yeah. All the boards. Yeah.
Mali, southern Niger and northern Nigeria, it's the same people basically. They speak the same language,
Mm.
uh, same tradition, same everything, but it's just the
Absolutely.
passport that is different. So,
Yeah.
for example, when the French through ECOWAS wanted to invade Niger, it was and Nigeria was actually backing that option. It was the people from northern Nigeria who went to the president and said the senators actually, because the president was defeated at the Senate. The
Yeah.
senators, especially of northern Nigeria, they went and said, "You're not going to do this. We're
Mm.
not going to outward our brothers because there was one neo-colonial leader, Mohamed Bazoum, who'd been overthrown, right? So
Yeah.
there is a real solidarity between those people, and I really hope that that federation will become a reality, and also
Yeah.
other countries will join, as you suggested. But those
For
countries
sure.
are surrounded by stronghold of neo-colonialism, so it's going to be difficult, but not impossible.
Yeah. But the fact what you spoke about, those colonial borders, man, that's important to remind ourselves of that, and also that it's crazy how sometimes, a lot of times actually, it may be easier for Europeans to move within
Oh
Africa.
yeah,
It may be easier than other Africans, you know what I'm
no,
saying,
no, you're
to move
absolutely right.
within the continent. And so
You're absolutely right. If you want to take a fly from Niger, Niamey, which is the capital of Niger, to Dakar, to the capital of Senegal, the tickets will be more expensive than a flight from Paris to
absolutely,
Dakar.
it's crazy. Yeah.
It's a reality. I mean,
Yeah,
I've
yeah, yeah.
also been lucky to
and
travel.
and your trip through customs will be smoother too. If you're coming from Paris, customs, you'll be smooth. Whereas, if you're coming from another country within the continent, you may have more problems within customs and all of that.
That's part of the
So
global apartheid. I mean, people
absolutely.
coming from countries that are devastated by war, they have only few
Hmm.
options of countries they can
Hmm.
go to because they will need a visa in all those countries. Like if you're
Hmm.
from Afghanistan or Iraq, there are not a lot of countries, maybe two or three countries where you can go without a visa. And I'm saying
Yeah.
two or three countries, but I don't even know. So it's
Yeah.
also part of the global apartheid. But if you're from the West, You can basically go anywhere.
Yeah, without a doubt. Yeah, man. Like you said, to get back to Senegal a little bit. I mean, Senegal, like you said, has a long history of colonialism with French, but that would be a huge game changer. Also for the same reason, just because imagine if they united, if they became a part of the alliance, proving that it's time for a change. It would really be a strong message to the rest of the continent. I think that would truly be a game changer, man. That would be amazing. But there's
Yeah,
still a lot of work to be done.
yeah. Even if they don't join formally the Alliance of Helium states, because there are some issues also that should be resolved. The people of Senegal have sent us during the last election. They sent us a very powerful message, which is like they wanted a Pan-African anti-colonial alternative. Okay,
Yeah.
so whatever the outcome, even if the politicians have been elected for that particular reason, and this is something that will probably be confirmed during the parliamentary election that would be held in the third week of November. Even if the politicians are not able to deliver, the message is still there. And the message is we as African people want to be independent from colonialism. We want to be
That's right.
liberated from colonialism, want to be the masters of our own destiny. So whatever the outcome is politically in Senegal, the people of Senegal have sent a message of sovereignty, message of independence, and a message of solidarity with our brothers and sisters from Mali, Niger, and Burkina Faso.
That's right. Yeah. Excuse me. I appreciate that, man. All right. Well, I think we might call it a morning. A morning. We call it a morning. Listen, we definitely appreciate all the listeners. Make sure you like, share, subscribe. Black Power Media Reloaded. We got a lot coming up. Go to blackpowermedia.org as well. I hope everybody got their Afro Pick magazine. Without a doubt, it's some really, really great content.
You want to play games? Okay. I'll play with you. Come on. Okay. You want to play what? Okay. Uno. I'm reloaded!
Yeah, no doubt. Black Power Media Reloaded. For sure. Thank you for that, Comrade Isaac. But definitely, like I said, we appreciate y'all, all the listeners, everybody supporting the platform. This is Rise Up International Morning Show. And I want to wish everybody, a great weekend. And make sure you're doing something, you're working towards liberation, our struggle is on all fronts. So no matter what we're doing, everything, every little thing counts. You know what I'm saying? On all fronts, every little thing count in the fight, for the just aspirations of African people worldwide. We appreciate y'all. Buna, any last words?
No, just like you should ask thank our viewers, and also, calling everybody to, getting more information on the project that we've mentioned, the EACOP, the destruction of the Amazon as well, and getting organized. Don't let these YouTube lives distract you from organizing.
Absolutely.
It just should be complementary, not actually replace the organizing underground that we should do. We should also focus on prioritizing, who our enemy is, because they have a faculty to sow divisions among us. So let's keep focused on the main objective. Let's be organized. Please like, share, subscribe.
That's right.
Reloaded.
Have a great weekend. We're going to win by any means necessary. Rise up.
Rise up. Uhuru.
Sometimes the riot is a quiet one. Well, the battle is to love yourself and function in society where voices of reason are muted by anxiety, like gaining notoriety is selling your soul. So we tend to go no deeper than the shallow water level, trying to keep us overhead in the face of all the slurs and the stares, mentally frozen, paralyzed by fear of failure and success. So we lock, stock, barrel, running while it's crumbling. All these towers and they're babbling, but the baby's in the bath and the stash under the bed on my head, spinning from the circles and the puppets and the strings that they pull. Then we move. Reactionary warfare never produces when it's on the field. Feeble and foolish. What tools and what weapons are we using? We need some new ones. Real revolution. It's real solutions. Well, we've taken on the ways of the ones who conquer with their guns and religion and division. Got my inner me looking